Can you mix efficiently using SE846 Shure headphones? Yo and hello, people of the web. Let's turn my fans here, turn off. It's me, Paul, back again in my studio, Warsaw, Poland, and back with another video for you. Yeah, one video per 2 weeks. I hope you're still fine with it, because did I ever tell you I'm really busy in the studio? Yes, we're still busy working at full speed, so, well, I can deliver once per 2 weeks. I still hope it's interesting, fun, and essential for what you do as well. Some news of the week. Well, there's one news on everybody's mind probably. Vladimir Kuzmin, the creator of Soviet ancient Polyvox synthesizer, teamed up with Behringer guys. So probably we're gonna see some reissue, redesigned, maybe it's gonna be new construction, who knows. We're gonna see a new Polyvox synth issued by Behringer. And this is a massive news. I know what many of you guys think about Behringer, but hearing that Behringer is gonna work on new Polyvox with Vladimir Kuzmin, this is really something. You may not like Behringer, you may disrespect them, you may even hate them, but this is impressive, and let's leave it here. Also, news of the week, studio news of the week. My Blofeld is here because I told you I'm gonna sell it. I'm also gonna sell my Nord lead that's over there. And you know what? I decided to buy something new, and it's Hydra Synth Desktop. Yes, it's here with me. It's an amazing beast. It's a digital beast. I'm not gonna review it right now because it's well known for last few months. Lots of vids, patches and stuff on the web everywhere. And yes, it is amazing. What's also amazing is that I bought this. And this is what we're gonna talk about today. These are Shure SE846 studio and stage monitoring headphones. These are really expensive ones, $1,000, around $1,000 here in Poland. And well, I'm gonna use them additionally for mixing in the studio. You'll ask why? You put so much effort into your new studio. You've got your fancy acoustic ceiling version 1 and then the super fancy Pro version 2 of my acoustic ceiling. Isn't it silent enough in the studio? But I have to be frank with you, it's not fine for me, because I never told you I suffer from misophonia. Don't worry, this episode's not gonna be entirely about misophonia, but just letting you know. It's kind of a rare neurological condition that makes you nervous when you hear some sounds you don't want to hear and you've got no control over them. And these are mainly human-made sounds like footsteps, like somebody coughing or eating loudly or snoring or stuff. And it's been like this since I was 8 years old. My selective hearing is extremely sensitive, and I'm extremely emotionally sensitive to some sounds, and I cannot get focused sometimes, and I get really nervous, and sometimes it's really hard to grasp control over it, and it's nothing too pleasant, guys. And I'm gonna make a separate episode about being misophonic, but this time let's focus on a solution, how to manage in this situation of 10 to 15 decibels of footsteps still being there. And this is my answer. And you know what? That makes me, of course, think, is it really possible to mix using headphones the same way you mix using monitors? Because these sound amazing, but can they really be as efficient as my KSD C88 monitors? Let's find out, and let's make a test. Hello, it's me. I just got up from the couch, and yeah, I forgot, if you like the channel, if you like the video, and if you like the studio, and if you think my long intros make any sense, please subscribe to the channel, like the vid, and leave me a comment down below, because I love discussing things with you. Let's go. All right. Shures are here, coffee is here, my machine is here. And yeah, for the purposes of today's demonstration, I created a loop, something that's gonna be our mixing material, and it had to be good enough that it feels like really mixing something for real, like a full real mix. And well, I promised you recently I'm gonna do you a tech house loop, because recently I did some cheesy chords for something, and then I said next time it's gonna be a tech house loop. So yes, it is a tech house loop. Take a listen. Yeah, that's what I created for today's demonstration. I hope it's enough. It's got some kind of promising, attractive sound. And yeah, I definitely can imagine turning it into a fully fledged house track. Not today maybe, but definitely it needs some mixing, and definitely it can sound some kind of interesting. So it's gonna be a good material to work with today, I believe. First, we're gonna do the mix using my KSD C88 monitors. And I'm gonna choose the set of tools, I'm gonna use them, and then I'm gonna take one day of break and get back and start mixing using my Shures, using exactly the same set of chosen tools. So we can see if my headphones can be the same good for mixing, maybe even better, and I should start using only them. Let's find out. First, we need to set up some mixing structure, and you know what? That's also gonna be kind of experimental, because I'm gonna make a theoretical set of tools that I'm gonna then just turn into practice. So now I'm gonna think what I need for this mixing. So I'm gonna set up my inserts, also probably I'm gonna set up some sends, and I'm gonna choose the mastering chain for this, and it's gonna be just purely raw, like without tweaking anything, just placing the tools right there. So here comes the drums. What would I need for the mixing here? First, of course, Pro Q3. I mean, I cannot live without it. So yes, as many of you guys, am I right? Then, probably, we're gonna also use some Smarty Q3 to make it a little bit more precise in some places, I believe. Then, we're gonna slightly saturate this signal, probably. And then, as always for drums, this is the compressor of my choice. Universal Audio 1176AE. Then we're gonna make it Pro L2. And these are my drums, like simplified but efficient. Do we need any sends? Yes, probably we're gonna need some send effect, like a slight reverb, probably. Then, moving to bass department, these are two layers of my bass. One is made using pigments, one of my favorite synths these days, and of course hydro bass. And also, we're gonna create a group. And very same story. We're gonna take Smarty Q. We're gonna take very same compressor and limiter, because they work marvelously on bass. And then there's one more thing for bass. It's gonna be Soothe, but I'm gonna tell you right away what it's gonna do. It's gonna work in sidechain mode. It's gonna work a little bit like Track Spacer works. You know Track Spacer? It does the sidechain, so some frequencies are being attenuated, fed with external signal. So yes, I'm gonna attenuate some of the bass, like Track Spacer does, and I'm gonna feed it with the signal coming, guess what, from the kick, of course, coming from the kick. Thank you. And I believe that's gonna be enough. Then we're gonna go to the keys department. Same story. Keys group. And guess what? Pro Q, Smart EQ, and then the group's gonna need a Pro Q3. Probably we're not gonna use Smart EQ here. I would say we're gonna need theory from Voxengo, and amazing stuff. I love it. It works a little bit like Gulfos and really does wonders. Sounds beautiful. What's next? I'm gonna compress it using LA2A Silver, which is my favorite compressor for keys, pianos, and some elements that are not drums nor bass, I would say. I use it a lot. And also Distressor is my favorite one, but let's stick to this time. And then Pro L2. I don't think I'm gonna saturate the keys here. And then, guys, guess what? I'm gonna do the Pro C2, and it's gonna be side-chained with the signal from the whole drums group. This is my idea. I might change it later on, but this is what I imagine is going to work in that mix. Then, of course, we're gonna need some cool reverb for this. So again, we're gonna create Valhalla. And then comes the lead. The lead's gonna be simple. Fab filter, maybe Theory too. Smart EQ is gonna be cool as well. Then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. And yeah, sounds like fun and looks complete. And then the mastering section is gonna be Pro Q3, Pull Tack, then Massive Passive, then Theory, and maybe again Pro Q3 for some additional stuff. And you know what? I also think bass is quite mono, but to be sure, I'm gonna use the Imager 120. This thing's gonna be mono, totally mono. Then let's go for M-Juice as for my mastering compressor. Why not? It's not an obvious choice. Let's try. And then Pro L2. And let the fun begin, guys. Let's mix. All right, I compared to my references, and I did some major tweaks in the bass because I did not realize when mixing that the bass was not fully there. It was lacking some punchiness. I adjusted this, I adjusted some tops, I got back to the arrangement, I changed the proportions of the mix and the dynamics. Well, I think we're there. This is the solid basic mix for this quasi track. What I'm gonna do now is one day break, and I'm gonna get back to the studio tomorrow, and I'm gonna repeat the whole process using the same tools but using my headphones to compare the results, and I'm dying to see what happens. See you. Yo, it's tomorrow already. I mean today, but it was tomorrow yesterday. Here are my headphones, my Shure SE846. Here's the mix. Like, I made it plain again. I reset all the tools. It's exactly the same set of tools, effects, sends, and inserts. And what? I'm gonna repeat the whole mixing process without unnecessary talk. Let's go. Okay, I think that's it. The working time is just the same, so very even fight and even competition. And what I'm gonna do now, knowing that I'm happy, this is a good starting point, it's a good basic mix, I'm gonna render and I'm gonna compare it to the previous version right now. I'm dying. Boom, and here's the great moment put on the timeline. I did it the way that here's the KSD, here's Shure, and first we're gonna listen to 2 bars of KSD version and then corresponding same 2 bars of Shure version. Then we're gonna switch to another 2 bars of KSD, Shure, etc, and then we're gonna have a listen of 4 bars and 4 final bars of Shure version. I think this is quite objective, and that's gonna give us some serious insight what's up. And my final listen, of course, is going to be made using KSD monitors, because still this is my main tool for listening. Let's go. I'm sorry, I have to make a break. Can you hear this? Let's continue. Okay, guys, I have to tell you, this is all amazing. I mean, this surpassed all my expectations. Because really, you have to believe me, and you have to take into account that I did the KSD one day and compared only to my references. I took a day of break, and then I did the Shure headphones version comparing only to the references, not to the previous KSD mix. And I know what it means, so let me sum the things up. Can you mix efficiently using SE846 Shure headphones? Yes, you can. And guys, I mean, the mixes are almost identical. There was a one day of break and comparing to references only, and it's pure wow. I mean, really, it's rarely that I'm that impressed with something. And this is a very good news for me, because yes, I can reliably mix when there's anything noisy. I can simply switch to my headphones without much hassle. That's great news. But the quality of this product, the credibility, the translation, the evenness to my monitors is purely astounding. I mean, of course, there are a few details I would change in the headphones version. These are like slight inconsistencies, slight changes I would do the sound, but the general tone, most of the details are just there. And also, what's great news always, for me and for the studio, is that all requires probably some skills. And it's cool to verify yourself that you can mix so consistently whatever they give you to listen. And yeah, this is great. All this is great news for me, for the studio. And I'm gonna cool down myself, and I'm gonna just manage my excitement right now. But this has been an amazing experiment. And I hope to see you soon, guys. And let's more audio goodies and more audio fun flow into the studio for you and for myself. Take care. See you soon.